Hoxha's regime kept the country locked in paranoia and poverty until his death in 1985, and communism finally collapsed in 1990. From then on, Albania pivoted toward democracy and openness. It was rough. The 1997 pyramid scheme crisis nearly toppled the nation, but Albanians pushed forward. A country reconnecting with the world. Today Albania is a nation reborn. It joined NATO in 2009, applied for EU membership, and has become an increasingly popular travel destination. Tourists marvel at the Ottoman-era towns of Berat and Gjirokastër, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, hike in the accursed mountains, or relax on the pristine Riviera. Tirana, the capital, has reinvented itself from a grey communist city into a colorful hub full of lively cafes, art, and music. Albanians abroad, the diaspora in Italy, Greece, Switzerland, Germany, and the US, send remittances that fuel the economy. And Albanians love to celebrate their culture, from folk dances and polyphonic singing, recognized by UNESCO, to hearty dishes like börek and grilled lamb. One of the country's proudest friendships is with Kosovo, whose people share ethnic and cultural roots. Many Albanians view Kosovo not just as a neighbor but as family. Internationally, Albania has also grown more confident. It even served on the UN Security Council in 2022 to 2023, a far cry from its isolated past. From emo kid to social star. Albania once symbolized secrecy, suspicion, and silence. But in just 3 decades, it has transformed into one of Europe's most curious rising stars, a country that embraces visitors, builds new alliances, and refuses to be forgotten. It may have been the quiet emo kid at the back of the class, misunderstood and underestimated. Yet today, Albania has stepped into the crowd with confidence, telling its own story, proud of its scars, and eager to show the world just how much it has to offer. And trust me, this is one reunion you'll never regret attending. Albania, the quiet kid who found their voice. If countries had personalities, Albania would be that quiet, mysterious student from high school who never made much noise. Maybe people overlooked them, maybe even teased them for being reserved. But then years later at the reunion, you realize they've built this fascinating life, traveled the world, and suddenly everyone wants to hang out with them. That, in a nutshell, is Albania, once hidden away, now finally stepping into the spotlight. The flag and the spirit behind it. At first glance, Albania's flag is deceptively simple, a vivid red background crowned by a fierce black double-headed eagle. Yet this design is soaked in symbolism. Red stands for bravery, sacrifice, and strength, while the eagle, used since the Byzantine era and by Albanian national hero Skanderbeg in the 15th century, represents independence and vigilance. The two heads watch both east and west, symbolizing Albania's crossroads position between Europe and the Orient. Few flags in the world feel as bold and uncompromising as this one. A land wedged between giants. Now, where exactly is this fascinating country? Albania hugs the western edge of the Balkan Peninsula, nestled between Greece to the south, Montenegro to the north, North Macedonia to the east, and Kosovo to the northeast. Serbia, of course, contests Kosovo's independence, but Albanians stand firmly by their ethnic kin. To the west, Albania enjoys 2 coastlines, one along the Adriatic and another along the Ionian Sea, both offering sun-drenched beaches that rival Croatia or Greece, but at a fraction of the cost. Its borders tell their own story of struggle. Greece snapped up some southern coastline, Montenegro claimed the mouth of the Buna River, and North Macedonia cornered much of Lake Ohrid and Lake Prespa. Albania often got the short end of the stick, but what it kept has become uniquely precious. Islands and hidden treasures. Unlike its Mediterranean neighbors, Albania doesn't boast big, flashy islands. Instead, it offers a scattering of small rocky islets, perhaps 10 at most. Places like Tongo or Stylo may only have a single house each, but they're rich in stories. Sazan Island is the star, once swapped between empires and kingdoms like a bargaining chip. Today it's dotted with decaying military bunkers and holds a reputation as a ghostly outpost of the Cold War. On other islands, you'll stumble upon Byzantine monasteries, Venetian ruins, and Ottoman-era fortresses. They're like miniature time capsules of Albania's turbulent history. Mountains, valleys, and bunkers everywhere. About 70% of Albania is mountains, craggy ranges like the Albanian Alps in the north, where jagged peaks scrape the sky and remote villages cling to ancient traditions. Yet valleys and plains provide fertile ground for agriculture, which still employs nearly half of the population. Wheat, maize, olives, grapes, and especially tobacco remain staples of Albanian farming. The vineyards in Berat and Kors produce wines that are slowly earning international recognition. Then there are the beaches. Durrës, one of the oldest ports in the Adriatic, buzzes with modern nightlife, while the Ionian Riviera, with gems like Ksamil, Himare, and Dermi, feels like Greece before mass tourism. But perhaps the most striking features of Albania's landscape are its bunkers. Dictator Enver Hoxha, terrified of invasions both real and imaginary, ordered nearly 700,000 concrete domes to be built across the country in the mid-20th century. Today they sit scattered in fields, forests, beaches, and even backyards. Some have been turned into cafes, museums, or art projects, others crumble quietly into the earth. Tourists often treat them like a national game of I Spy. People, language, and identity. Albania's population is about 85% ethnically Albanian, with minorities including Greeks, Macedonians, Montenegrins, Roma, and Aromanians. But what truly sets Albanians apart is their language. Albanian, or Shqip, is an isolated branch of the Indo-European family. It shares roots with no other modern language group. To linguists, it's like a living fossil, preserving fragments of ancient speech that vanished elsewhere. Religion paints another layer of complexity. Roughly 60% of Albanians identify as Muslim, mostly secular, 20% as Christian, Catholic in the north, Orthodox in the south, and the rest are either Bektashi, a Sufi order, or non-religious. Yet tolerance is the rule. Mosques, churches, and even a synagogue can exist in the same city, sometimes on the same street. During the communist regime, however, Albania declared itself the first officially atheist state in the world, banning all forms of worship until 1992. The scars of that era remain, but so does a culture of coexistence. And don't forget the head gestures. In Albania, shaking your head means yes and nodding means no. Countless foreigners have been confused by this, often with hilarious consequences. A roller coaster of history. Albania's modern story is one of turbulence and reinvention. After centuries under the Ottoman Empire, Albania declared independence in 1912 but struggled to hold itself together. Kingdoms rose and fell, borders shifted, and great powers meddled. During the Cold War, Albania first aligned with the Soviet Union, then dramatically broke ties to side with Mao's China. When even China pulled away in the 1970s, Albania was left utterly isolated, turning into one of the most closed societies on earth.